Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's a few things I've told you for a long time on this channel. The first one is that, or really it's more of a theme of crypto. The entire theme of crypto has been that from the Wall Street crowd, and they've got all these hired guns that they've had in crypto since I've gotten in this. It's all been Bitcoin, Ethereum, everywhere. CNBC, they're all towing the same line, whether it's an Anthony Pompliano or a Mike Novogratz. They're all saying the exact same thing. It's all the same stuff. And they created this idea that gold is bad and Bitcoin is this replacement. That's a lie, and it's always been a lie. You've also been told that you've been sold this idea that Bitcoin is this libertarian movement. In my opinion, that's also a lie. That's the way they needed to sell it. Now, I believe that it was just about all of it was created by governments to take all of the sheep into, and by the way, I don't think that any of us have any choice. I think this is happening whether you like it or not. All we can hope is that it's for good instead of evil, or that the people running our countries around the world are going to employ this technology for good, and if they don't, the people will rise up, so, but anyway, it's happening, okay? But they've lied to you on several fronts about what's really going on, which maybe that's what they have to do. They're the government, I don't know. But they've lied about it, period. This stuff was created by governments. I don't care what anybody tells you. Bitcoin, these Wall Street people that are investing in Bitcoin, they would not be doing it unless they already knew who created it. It wouldn't happen because they got too much liability. There's no way. That's not the real world. In the real world, a hedge fund or whoever, or I don't care who it is, Michael Saylor, none of these people are going to be investing on behalf of these huge companies and investors and not know who created something, because it opens them up to tremendous lawsuits if the investment goes the wrong way, because their board can say, wait a minute, you lost us money on this? We lost half our money and you didn't even know who created it, and you're saying you're investing money on the investor's behalf? Are you kidding me? There's a thing called fiduciary duty. Now, it's against that backdrop of what I've been saying on this channel for a long time, because remember, I've always told you, the XRP people are the adults in the room. This idea that you're going to down with governments and Bitcoin, that whole thing, that's a bunch of baloney. That's not happening. But B, even if it was happening, they would have shut it down a long time ago. I believe that the government wanted this thing to have the look of a libertarian movement so that they could get the gold crowd into it and usher in this new thing. But apparently I'm not the only one that thinks that. But the most important thing I want you to get out of what I just said is it's not either gold or crypto. It's gold and the right crypto, the stuff that actually is going to change the financial system, and that is not Bitcoin and proof of work Ethereum. Ethereum 2.0 is still, we shall see. Now, this is Lynette Zhang. I want you to watch. She's being interviewed on this Stansberry research. Watch this.
Look, the people...
And by the way, a lot of this is in the All the World's a Stage red file.
Look, the people that love crypto and the people that love gold they have the same mindset, and I get it. This is proven,
But the gold people had to be sold on this idea that somehow Bitcoin was going to be some kind of a replacement or a partial, really, they sold it as drop gold, just get Bitcoin. That was a lie, and they knew it was a lie.
And the people that love gold they have the same mindset, and I get it. This is proven, you know, I'm sorry, but when I read that 1996 NSA white paper, which is a government agency on how to create a mint, describing this whole crypto market, and I look at Wall Street and I look at the level of adoption, one thing I know, I'm not an engineer, I don't understand cryptos, but I have studied currency life cycles and their transitions into new currencies since 1987. And every single time, I mean, there are repeatable patterns. And a key one that I would say is that they allow people to, the general population, to make money as they're making this transition so that people go along with it. Look at the roaring 20s. Look at the greedy 80s. And look at the 2020s. That's a common thread.
It's interesting, and that's something that
for just a second over the top of this video,
guests,
because sometimes when you don't speak over the top of the video and they play any music, they'll hit you with a copyright.
who says that
It
they're
happens.
almost preparing us for the coming digital dollar. Is that how you see it?
100%.
And how far away is that reality for you?
You know, what I know, timing is the biggest challenge. But what I do know is that a lot of things have to shift in 2023, including...
Okay, now I want you to listen to what she's about to say, and then I'm going to bring you around to one of the people on Ripple's board of directors.
somewhere around 610 trillion in notional derivative contracts that are tied to LIBOR shifting into SOFR. And they're forcing that shift, even though when they ran that test in October, I think it was 2019, might have been 2020, I'm sorry about that. But when they ran that test with 80 trillion, it was a big fat fail. And you know that because it got really silent. And then 3 weeks later, they postponed it until 2023. And LIBOR does not work like, or rather SOFR does not work like LIBOR. So, I hope we have more time than that, but I could definitely see a crisis maybe a little bit before 2023 or in 2023.
That fast tracks it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So she's talking about LIBOR. Before I go there, I want to remind everybody, my whole theme right now, especially while all this is going on in the downturn and all that, it's very simple. It's cash, XRP, XLM, gold, period. And I'm buying my gold through my Glen account, which is one of my sponsors. You can buy physical gold, or you can buy gold in your Glen account, and then you'll have your debit MasterCard where you can actually spend your gold. So if things really get ugly, this thing's not tied to your bank account. So let's say that things got really ugly and the government decided, oh well, we're gonna shave off some of your bank account. This gold is not your bank account. It's a separate thing, and it's an inflation hedge, because if things really got ugly and we had some hyperinflation, then you've got gold, spendable gold. It's not just gold that's now I recommend having, for myself, I have physical gold too, which I think is important. But I also have plenty of gold in my Glint account, so that because I've always thought about this, in a situation where, let's say we did have hyperinflation, what am I going to do? Take my gold down to the grocery store? No. But Glint solves that problem, because now I have some gold in my Glint account and I can use that card if that happened. Okay, now let's go back to the second part of what she was talking about. Do you remember Sandy O'Connor, Ripple board member? She supported the integrity and efficiency of capital markets as chair of the Federal Reserve Board's Alternative Reference Rate Committee. Now, we are heading into the All the World's a Stage file, so strap in. This is from jpmorgan.com. Leaving LIBOR, because that's what she was talking about, is the transition away from LIBOR. A landmark transition. The move away from LIBOR is a global phenomenon that has the financial industry mobilizing ahead of a looming deadline. This, if you go down on this same article, guess where Sandy O'Connor came from? That would be J.P. Morgan. Then they've got a podcast right here, a JP Morgan podcast, guest speaker, Nadine Bates, mortgage finance firm Fannie Mae's treasurer, and Sandy O'Connor, who has worked at JP Morgan over 30 years and chaired the Alternative Reference Rates Committee, discuss transitioning to SOFR from LIBOR in U.S. benchmark reform. Well, listen to just the very first, you don't even have to listen to Sandy O'Connor talking. Listen to the intro.
Hello, I'm Julia Verlaine from JP Morgan, and welcome to the first episode of our LIBOR transition series. From mortgages to bonds to car loans, the reference rate LIBOR has underpinned global lending for decades. It is also tied to nearly $190 trillion of U.S. interest rate derivatives.
You don't say.
But in a landmark transition for global finance, LIBOR is set to be phased out by 2022, setting the stage for new benchmarks.
What?
Here in the United States, JP Morgan has been providing leadership to develop a market around a new dollar reference rate called the Secured Overnight Financing Rate, or
Really?
SOFR. Deals using SOFR are already being done, but key challenges remain and there's much work ahead.
Okay. So that's the All the World's a Stage file. And this is, too, from Wheezy, okay? This is ex-CFTC Jim Newsom, current Chairman Tarbert. Well, this may be from Tarbert, I don't think is, well, maybe he is, I don't remember. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is what I set up here. We keep seeing this sold publicly as a turf battle between the SEC and the CFTC. But every video I watch with officials from both agencies says they've been working closely together, back to Jay Clayton and Chris Giancarlo, All the World's a Stage file. This goes in the red file too, folks, because I read part of, I was skimming through Chris Giancarlo's book, and him and Jay Clayton, they were going to dinner, they were having dinner with each other, having lunch, and then talking about old times. I mean, these people were working together. We know from Charles Gasparino's reporting in 2018 around the Brooklyn project. We know that the CFTC and the SEC were working together then. But now, publicly, what we see is, oh, this is a turf battle. Gary Gensler wants this for the SEC's turf. So this doesn't add up to me, okay? So this is All the World's a Stage file. Listen to this guy.
That's great, Mr. Chairman. As you well know, regulatory certainty is key or is crucial in any market, but especially in a new market. Could you share with us some of your thoughts, some of your work, and the CFTC's work with the SEC, particularly in regard to the issuance of tokens and their classification? For example, whether it's a investment contract, a utility coin, a commodity, a currency, or otherwise, do you foresee any additional guidance from either the CFTC or the SEC to provide further clarification in this whole new arena?
Absolutely. I think we can definitely foresee greater clarity and information coming out of both agencies. I'm not sure quite when, but I can tell you that working with the SEC on these issues and a whole host of issues has been a big part of what I do. I have the privilege of talking with Chairman Clayton often several times a week, but
if you go and you look at all of the calendars of all these people, they're working together all the time, folks. But we're being sold publicly that there's this turf battle. So, for me, it doesn't add up. Now, here's what does add up. Oops, I did it again. This is how old I'm getting. I'm showing you these GIFs of Britney Spears when she started from her song. I can't remember. Maybe the song was called Oops, I Did It Again. I don't remember. But I did it again. I bought the XLM dip. You know what I'm doing. Now, here's the CNBC guys. They're continuing to tote the Bitcoin narrative. Here they are with the markets.
We're going to talk Bitcoin now, and Andrew. And then I was thinking ARK. Because if you feel bad about Bitcoin, if you're in ARK,
let's say double and tripling down on all of
ARK's down 70%, 68% from its high.
Double down.
Yeah. So who's not underwater? Is there anyone not underwater?
I'm not underwater.
We're going to talk to Robert Frank later.
I'm not underwater because I did not invest more money than I could afford to lose, and I set aside a cash cushion, and I did not spend money that I couldn't spend. I built my house out of brick and not out of straw from the Three Little Pigs. This is not, life is not easy, but the best thing that can ever happen to you out there, folks, you young people especially, is to get burned. I've been burned several times in my life. Getting burned, it teaches you lessons that you won't forget. And that's how you protect yourself, protect your family.
Not ARK, but ART. And ART apparently is not underwater. But we're going
to... No. Well, everybody still knows Maryland. We talked about her a lot this week. The dress at the Met Gala, and he made 5 of those. That was smart. Is that $1 billion?
Well, not for him.
No, but if you add up what it sold for, it's $1 billion.
If it was an NFT, maybe he'd get a piece. Let's talk Bitcoin just for a second, because Bitcoin prices this morning, cryptocurrency briefly dropped below 30,000 late yesterday. It's regained some ground early this morning. We're at about $31,449 right now. Bitcoin, though, we should say off about 55% from its November peak, and 40% of holders are now underwater on their investments. That's according to some new data out from...
Okay, I'm not going to play any more of that. Here's our old buddy Mike Novogratz. I'm not even going to play him. He's too nauseating to listen to. This is more the perspective of things that I look at. This is Bitcoin, the different downturns that it's had. I've been through so many of these things now that it doesn't really faze me. Like I said, I just make sure that I have a large cushion so that not just so that I won't be hurt. Everybody is hurt in these markets. The cushion is so that I can buy the dips. Look, I don't care what your opinion is of Warren Buffett, but this guy is a master of having tons of cash when things hit the fan. He was sitting there with cash in the financial crisis, and what happened? He was able to bail out even Goldman Sachs and made bank. In my opinion, he had the ultimate insider information, which is getting phone calls from the freaking Treasury Secretary telling him what's going on and backing up his investments. How can that not be illegal? But that's another issue. And this is an interesting tweet I saw from Craig DeWitt. A negative thing about centrally planned markets is that sometimes they plan for it to go down. I'm kind of on the same page here, folks. I think everything you're watching has been planned. The official cool guy, the Digital Asset Investor channel, weighed in. Times like this are when Ponzi's are revealed. Name your favorite scam. And then I said this morning. The Fed raises interest rates after, 10, 15 years of keeping them at a ridiculously low level. They raise the interest rates. All markets get crushed. Crypto gets crushed with them. Scams are revealed, as they're always. Think Bernie Madoff. Scams are revealed when the markets go down. You find out who's swimming naked. Remember that? And then Gary Gensler and his government friends, you watch. They're going to come in because you never let a crisis go to waste. Remember what Rahm Emanuel said? You especially never let a government-created crisis go to waste because you planned for it, right? Gary Gensler and his government friends come in to save us all. That's when they initiate their crackdowns, and that way they don't look like such a bad guy. Oh, we had to come in. Look at what's happening in the crypto markets. Government hands the industry, government and Gary Gensler, hand the industry over to Wall Street, who has been preparing their crypto custody for the last 3 to 4 years for this very moment. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that there is nothing new under the sun. And I've seen all these movies before, and I don't trust these people, but I know that something's coming. And you should play that Lynette Zhang video and play it again and again and again, because she's right over the target, and I'm buying XRP, XLM, gold, and I'm making sure I have a cash cushion. Thanks for listening.